welcome to Pro MFG Technology Leadership Think Turf Let's Talk Scalability series powered by Nanoprecise. The topic for our fireside chat today is smart manufacturing and operational excellence. Today we have three distinguished industry experts joining us. A very warm welcome to Mr. Chetan Joshi, the Head of Continuous Improvement and Digitization in Tata Chemicals, Mr. Sandeep Chakrabarti, who's the Senior VP Operations from Aarti Industries, and Mr. Prashant Verma, the co-founder and product lead from Nanoprecise. Finally, the moderator for our today's session is Mr. Ravi Ramarao, the Chief Architect and Trusted Advisor, Digital Transformation and Manufacturing Excellence.
People are talking about digital transformation. Having said this digital transformation is considered to be a journey. It is not a one-time event. And there are several elements and also many objectives. Could you shed light on the prioritization of what to focus on first? Mr. Chetan, what is your thought on this?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Ravi Ramarao. It is my privilege to participate in this fireside chat. So as Mr. Ravi mentioned, so it is surely digital transformation is a journey and it has a several elements and many objectives. So organizations shall do prioritization by carrying out digital value assessment of the probable plant use cases by collecting the past historized data of sufficient larger duration and arriving at the current baseline and identifying amount of variation what exists in your current process and find out what are the possible opportunity for the improvement. Also need to find out the maturity of automation, sensorization, and based on all this, one need to prioritize the use case based on the cost, effort, and benefit matrix. So this is how organization can prioritize based on cost, effort, benefit matrix. And as far as execution is concerned, this type of initiative need to be driven from the top for base support and driving, and also buying should be established from the end user, and capturing the perfect voice of end user voice is also very much necessary. Change management and mindset management, that is also very critical for the success of this type of initiative. And as far as technology is concerned, we need to initially ensure the basic level of automation, need to focus on enhancing the data collection and data maturity level. And infrastructure like historian also need to be established from beginning. And based on availability of all this, further use case development shall be possible. Thank you.
Mr. Sandeep, what kind of KPIs, you are important to set so that, it helps in increasing the efficiency, performance improvement, and obviously it is going to reduce the cost and ultimately the customer experience.
What should a digitization of a company should help an organization? What way? If we come to those points. First thing is, right now we are generating data at different points. DCS has a huge amount of data. There are a lot of observations also people make. They probably record in somewhere. There are quality data coming in. There are a lot of, let's say, improvement programs or MOCs, management of changes you are doing. Then a lot of RCAs or root cause analysis you are doing where the tasks are getting generated. So all these data are there, huge amount of data, but at different form in different areas. So digital first thing is, which I feel can really bind all the data and help you bringing all the data in one area. So at a click of a button, you have all the data available with you. It can be some static data, like let's say for a plant, the PDS, MDS, drawings, some commissioning reports. Can be some dynamic data, like if you have a online condition monitoring systems. So it will give you online your vibration data. It can give you all the quality data coming in. It can give you the performance of all the components, like a heat exchanger. If you have The U is one of the important parameter for heat exchangers, how the heat exchanger is performing. So dynamic data, static data, as well as alarm management. If you have alarms coming in where the deviation is beyond your prescribed limits, so everything can be managed very seamlessly and at one place. You don't have to search data for any problem solving also. So this is one, you have all the data in one place. Next is single source of truth, because with so many data, there is always remains there can be a conflict of truthfulness of the data. So digitization should help in that there should be a single source of truth, single truth in different format, different datas are not there. Whatever data is there, there is single and truthful data. That is number two. Number three is in any plant. So let's say, how do we define the efficiencies? One is the performance of the plant, where what we call OEEs, let's say reliability, productivity, and quality parametrics. And there can be your uh, yield parameters, how much raw material I am putting and what is my final product is coming. In all these area, to if you want to improve, we can either it is a problem solving, if there is a breakdown or there is a loss of yield, you can uh, use that as a used case, or it can be a continuous improvement. You want to improve the yield. Let's say the yield is 98%, you want to move to 99% as a company objective you have taken. So you can use all this improvement or problem solving. So for all these, you require humongous amount of data and lot of analytics to be done. So right now also we are doing, but what we have to do, we have to collect lot of data, we have to see the authenticity of the data. An engineer has to sit, have to analyze all multiple data, might be 50, 60 data points he has to analyze and then come to the solution. So it is time taking, quite a time taking. So number is, this digitization should help in your one KPI can be, first KPI I said, the single source of truth, data management, number two. Number three can be any improvement or problem solving, the time taken to solve the problem. So typically we can say mean time to problem solving, something like that should improve, it should come up. Number three is right first time. What is the, if the problem you have solved, it should not repeat back again. So right first time. So that is the strength of problem solving, which digitalization should help for any organization.
That many of these digital transformation, because they are not highly successful, right? Maybe it is sub 20% is what the various statistics say, the success of these digital transformation initiatives, okay, across the industries, across the globe. So is that one of the main reasons that the programs don't go beyond pilot, or whatever? Sandeep put it very nicely. Chetan also, they are very clear. Their thought process is very clear. It has to be top driven, and they are ready for this long haul. They don't expect it to be happening overnight, right? So, but many things, the statistics tell it otherwise. It doesn't go beyond 20%. In fact, it's lower 20%. So, what are your thoughts on that? Why they don't go beyond the pilot phase?
Yes. So yes, this is a very true statement that digital transformer fails 80% of time. The most important reason what I can see is the the objectivity why we are doing this transformation. When we take this name transformation, we are transforming something, and in this case we are doing it digitally using some technologies. So first of all, we should define the problem statement. This is very much important. Digital transformation can be applied to many places, many areas, right? Let's take an example. We are defining some small problem statements with a KPI that, let's say, we need a reduction in breakdown for 60%. It should be reduced to 60%. Then reduction in the unplanned downtime should be 35 to 40% or something like that. And reducing the maintenance cost by 45%. Now we have the KPIs and the problem statement very clear. Second step would be to take the data, because we will be working on the data, not just information or the intuition. Second step would be to log the information wherever it is coming from. It can be from DCS, it can be from some sensor devices, it can be from anywhere, even if from the some written documents, right? Once we have the data, then we start doing putting some analytics, analysis, descriptive, prescriptive, or many things, right? That would be the second step. Now, when we talk about this problem statement, many times or almost all the times when I interact with many of our management folks, and we see that we realize that digital transformation kind of programs are at the board level, but they forget like how to convey to the mission and vision of this program to the ultimate end user, because they would be using this, right? This failure of change management can lead to reluctance to the shift of company culture, and that is very much important for digital transformation. See, digital transformation is not a technology, it's not a nothing, it's a mindset or a process, right? So it cannot be treated as a destination. It is a journey, and every journey starts with small steps, like the POC. We start with POC, and POC is very much important step, and it is very much important to define the POC itself, right? It's a proof of method or an idea to demonstrate its practical potential, right? It's not a ultimate goal, it's not a way to final like achieve the ultimate final goal, right? So for defining this POC or the problem statement, every stakeholder, or at least small set of stakeholders, should be part of this process, including the end user or the eventual if the customers are involved. So this is very much important. The bigger picture has to be seen, and the dots to be connected to get this program successful. Otherwise, in the middle of the program, we will realize that, okay, we are not going in the direction we were supposed to, because we were even not clear with the problem which we are trying to solve, right? And in this journey, right partners are very important. Right partners means like they should understand the end user. If they don't understand the end user, they will not be having any kind of service or product which has good user experience, and end user should feel the product, right? And for this to design the product, if we talk about the design thinking philosophies, empathy is the first step, right? So we should be any vendor or any partner in technology should be well aware of the end user, what they want actually, right? And why these fails and why we are not able to scale up POCs is very much into like people or the end user doesn't understand the technology or the service itself, so they are not even trying to use it. And above on that, when we talk about the complexity, like let's say sensors installations, wiring of the power supply, setting up Wi-Fi communication, installing junction boxes, and these kind of stuff can kill the objectivity of scalability and sustainability. End user will be very reluctant.
What I'm saying is Tata Chemicals is also not a young organization, okay? And I have been with Bosch, which is about 140 years kind of an organization. I know how difficult it is to really move the needle even by a few inches, I tell you, right? You know, this is the way it has been done. This is how it should be done, right? You know, I tell you, you know, you have to just, you know, keep your hands folded and then do some namaskar and say that, yes, sir, you are right, right? You know, how do you address the change management in Tata Chemicals?
Yeah, so as you rightly mentioned, you and Mr. Prashant and Mr. Sandeep mentioned, so change management is also a major challenge at, I think, every company. So as you rightly mentioned, so our first, our digital partner, by the way, is TCS themselves. And we have done first successful implementation of digital twin at our Tata Chemicals in partnership with TCS. So journey was very long, and we started with one of our use case at carbonation tower in soda ash process, carbonation tower. So it is a very one of the old plant, soda ash industry old plant, and gradually it is converted into automation. So as I mentioned earlier, so we identify some use case where we have 70 to 80% of the this DCS data were there, and 30 to 40% data was of the this quality data was there. That is lab data. So because initial stage, still we have not invested in lab equipment and these things. So later on we have planned to go for the links and all these things also. So initially, to begin with, we have started the way I explained earlier. So many challenges come, but as rightly mentioned by Prashant Verma, because I am also driving here continuous improvement Lean Six Sigma project. So in Lean Six Sigma project, we teach individual to capture the voice of the customer. Here, the end user customer, what is his pain area, what are his challenges, what are his difficulty. So major trick in all this kind of project is model development is maybe similar in all kind of industry. The thing which goes before, the effort which goes before model, that is doing the digital value assessment. You need to initially assess what is the current condition based on maybe long period data, 1 year, 2 year data, based on assess. Any use case you identify, what is the why, what are the X, what are the controllable X, and what are non-controllable, in coordination with all the subject matter expert and plant team. So that is a very critical thing for the success. And when you do all these things, you need to continuously involve all these down the line people. And because this kind of automation also leads to the insecurity fear in down the line people. Okay? When all this automation comes, then there is a chance he might not be required, or all these kinds. So you being a Tata industry, job security is utmost priority as per the organization. They never relieve anyone, irrespective of any kind of automation. So that is the greatest thing at Tata Group. So based on this, one need to assure this kind of thing, and also you need to continuously involve down the line people in all kind of because you need to gauge their what a end user want. So based on that, you need to do this thing. And as I mentioned earlier, we have 30 to 40% data we capture manually. So that all data capture manually of last 2 years was also very very difficult task. Very difficult task in limited period of time. So there are a lot of scope of mistake and error happen. So your digital partner should be such a smart enough to identify all the clean and all this data. So they have done fantastic job. So cleaning all data and all this thing. So based on this thing, in first pilot we have implemented for 3 equipment, and it was very so we started because, and adoption is also a concern. So initially we started with you can say adoption of 10 to 20%, and gradually we move, and last month we have reached the highest 91%. So initially we started pilot with 3 equipment, then we on success of that we rolled out across another 12 this equipment, to total 15 equipment, and we crossed the golden batch of all this 15 equipment. So in 1 year we could cross golden batch of all, and all model has been tuned and elevated the golden batch, and we are further working on this improving other things. But as you rightly mentioned, many only few project get succeed. Same philosophy, same principle we implemented at another location, and same our plant, but we are facing many challenges. So that challenge is always resides in whether we might not have captured the proper voice of end user. So that challenge we are just correcting, how we can similarly leverage the benefit we got from earlier learning. So same we are also implementing at another plant also in our same premises. So that is one thing, and so we need to give assurity to people that this is not going to change this thing. And also other thing is, many times people have, as you rightly mentioned, my process is 99.5% perfect. So there is no scope of improvement. So we need to build a culture of Six Sigma level. So that what is Six Sigma performance level and all these things. And how digitization can help in this journey to achieve further Six Sigma level. So this is how we can progress to address the mindset. Thank you.
And Mr. Sandeep, Once you start monitoring these kind of data, KPI and all, what's the kind of a frequency you think is ideal?
See, it would depend definitely on the criticality of that process. If it is a critical, very critical process, let's say hydrogenation, where any deviation can lead to, let's say, some some hazardous incident. So those has to be at every moment. That the alarm management should be so tuned that any deviation should be immediately recorded and communicated. And for less priority KPIs, I think every shift should be important. The data should be seamlessly captured. Only the engineer, either the all the critical processes alarm should be defined like that. Whenever there is a deviation, it should be triggered. And for other cases, every shift, the engineer should be able to see how the KPIs has moved, how the train graphs are performing, something like that. So it should be entirely user driven, how the user wants the things to be monitored.
And Prashant, you were mentioning about this wireless SIM card based ones. I think 5G is also going to get launched very soon, even in India. And though I have not experienced 5G personally, I keep reading about a lot of exciting things are possible in terms of secure network and also coverage. You forming your own private cloud without going into a huge infrastructure and stuff like that. Do you think that's the way it's going to be in the future?
Definitely, I would say it's the only way because of scalability. Let's say we have 20,000 equipments in the plant, okay, and we need to implement the predictive maintenance using the sensor IoT devices and the cloud, something. We don't want it to be implemented in a span of a year or 2 year of time. We want it to be implemented in a span of, like, let's say 3 months. 3 months to all the sensors should be installed. If we have a dependency on, let's say, Wi-Fi communication, we will have to set up access points, Wi-Fi routers or something. We will have to spend time on that, and that is very, very, very difficult if we are talking about a plant which has accessibility issues. Many issues are there. Then we can, if we come to a sensor which is not a battery powered, we need to provide some power through electrical devices. Then again, a scalability issue or the implementation issue will be there. Once we have these 5G powered sensor devices, it is so easy that we have experience. Our device is also 5G powered device. It is so easy. We just need to place the sensor device on the equipment and just switch it on. It will directly connect to the network, whichever network is available in that area, connect to that and start sending the data at that moment only. And the data, sending of the data is so secured. It is like the data is, first of all, data is encrypted, then it is sent to the cloud, then it gets decrypted using a very secure key mechanism. So this way, only the scalability, we can ensure the scalability. Otherwise, we will have to keep on waiting for even the POCs to get completed, and we get confidence on these kind of projects.
So, Mr. Sandeep, so what's the top one thing, based on your experience when you think of digital transformation?
See, any technology. So for the sake any technology, it is very important that we take baby steps.
Okay.
Baby steps. So as Prashant was saying, many organizations failed because they got allured by the digital transformation, all the meets and all those things. They launched something which the organization is not matured enough to take.
Okay.
It's very important that you take baby steps. The user experience is very important in terms of ease of use, in terms of speed. Reliability is very important because multiple softwares it has to integrate. Many times it fails because the reliability is not right. So you are starting to use and the things are crashing down. So those, for any digital transformation, really selecting the right user experience model and see the reliability of the system is very important for any journey to start with.
Mr. Chetan, what are your thoughts on?
Yeah, so I think most of thing has been covered by Mr. Sandeep, but I would like to add the same thing. So end user experience or expectation. So perfect capturing of end user voice is very critical because many times because when the digital partners are there, so there is a because end user wants something and understanding by digital partner there is a lot of gap exists. So we need to have in between subject matter expert who can clearly translate what is the perfect requirement. So identifying key KPIs, all use cases, output KPI, input KPI, which can be controllable, which cannot be controllable. So identify in that use case is very much critical, and maturity of all data. So whatever data is provided, so the measurement system analysis can be done of all that data because on all that data, the measurement complete analytics model is going to be built. So maturity of that data is also very critical, and network availability because being a remote site and many times because digital and all these things is very good until unless basic infrastructure is there. So network and that kind of support and that is availability is also very critical.
Mr. Prashant, from your, what are your things on this?
Yeah. So very, very valid points from Mr. Sandeep and Mr. Chetan. I would say I would like to add a few metrics to it. Uh, the scalability of the product or solution, whatever we are using, is very much important. It should be scalable enough that today we are using it for, like, say, 5% of the infrastructure, and we want to get it scaled to 95% tomorrow itself. Right? This is very much important. The technology should be or the architecture should be that scalable. Second thing is the flexibility, as Mr. Sandeep just mentioned. It has should be having flexibility to interact or integrate with many other systems, because it should be fit into existing systems, not it should make its own other system, right? This is very much important. It should be having integration possibility. Okay. Third thing is the sustainability. If all this is thing in plan and we are scaling to 95 or to, let's say, very like 10x or 20x, but after a few days or few months it doesn't sustain and it goes out, and technical language we say it breaks up, it breaks down, and nothing works, right? This has to be evaluated. So right partner, right technology, right product is very much important to start with this journey. And this is, again, I'm saying, this is not a destination, this is just a journey, and we start with a small baby steps and we just get over it with the time.
It has been my pleasure to be a host, and it has been a tremendous learning for myself. So I'm so thankful to all of you. And Ramya, you can take over.
Thank you so much for such an insightful session. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Tanmay Matri, the lead business and strategy from Nanoprecise, to give a brief presentation about Nanoprecise.
Yeah. So hi everyone. Thank you, Ramya, for the quick introduction, and thank you panel for your insightful session. Mr. Chetan and Mr. Sandeep, it's really great to know how you guys are leading the top-down approach and empowering a user with new technology, right? Because digital transformation is not gonna go anywhere. It's gonna, this is just a start, I would say. And as you rightly said, baby step, and selecting the right vendor is very important. So I will not take more than 5 minutes just to take you through what Nanoprecise is, right? So we are a 4-year-old deep tech startup. We provide AI-based predictive and prescriptive maintenance solution, which is completely wireless, non-intrusive, and scalable. And it's been 4 glorious years that we are now completely working across the globe, across the 7 continents as of today. So what problem statement that we found, right? One is unplanned downtime is a global phenomena, be it any manufacturing industry you name, and it accounts for $100 billion per year just on the global economy. Second, yes, process parameter is important, but even today, 80% of the assets are not digitized, right? And it is for sure by proof that we have seen that whenever equipment is going to fail, the first thing to react is this output parameter, right? The acoustic emission or the vibration or the temperature or the RPMs. That is where you need to capture those data, and we have been successfully modeling our artificial intelligence just on basis on the output parameter without even worrying about the past data or the process parameter. 75% of the IT project fail because of data inaccuracy, non-scalability of the solution, and delayed implementation. So considering this problem statement, right, we came up with a solution called as Machine Doctor. So Machine Doctor is a completely wireless 6-in-1 sensor which takes care of your vibration, 3-axis, surface temperature, humidity, acoustic emission all up to 160 kilohertz, RPM range right from 10 RPM to 10,000 RPM, and magnetic flux for the electrical faults, right? One sensor giving you 78% of the reliability component, and it has all the certification like ITEX zone up to ITEX and ICX zone 0, so it can sustain the chemical environment also. It's a SIM card based solution. You just have to plug and play. That's it. Keep the sensor on the machine and forget it. That's it. It will be connected to the internet, start sending out data. So this is where it sends out data into our cloud. 1 second. Yeah, you can see on my screen. This is our platform, which is called Rotation LF or Rotation Live, which is an artificial intelligence based platform. The moment sensor is installed on the machine, it starts sending data into a cloud, and you will get prediction and prescription, right? Let's say it's your compressor, or it's your blower or motor or pump. It is going to tell you when this equipment is going to fail, from which equipment that is going to fail. That is remaining useful life is 400%. It is going to fail because of bearing ball failure, and it is going to and these are the possible root causes and suggestion. Further, dashboard and apps are there where you can get the notification and see the real-time alerts, and you can connect it to your real-time ERP to get alerts, right? For example, Sandeep ji mentioned to have a unified platform. This is where you can connect this data to across any of your platform to have a seamless last mile automation, right? Simple example, if the bearing is going to fail, you can put notify your inventory model in SAP to make sure that bearing replacement is available in next 400 hours, or work order management is been taken care of. So this is the kind of analytics we give, and we are an end-to-end solution provider. And this is where Machine Doctor stands, right? This is a famous PF curve. This is where Machine Doctor catch the first fault with acoustic emission, and this is where the actual failure happens. So you can imagine how much ample amount of time today we are creating for the end users, so that there's a mean time between failure increase in mean time between failure, then again increase in mean time between maintenance, and life of the equipment is increased. So this is where we are. Once the failure begins with acoustic emission, we are catching the fault right away. And this is the kind of analytics your end user can expect. Okay, there's a 50 hours left for this particular fan, and there's an unbalance or misalignment, and this is a kind of prescription root cause suggestion that we have, right? So we are bringing you complete plug, play, and piece experience. As Mr. Sandeep and Chetan said, the customer experience or the end user experience is very important for you, and make sure that there's a layman solution which anyone can use, right? So no wires, no extra IT infrastructure, or no extra edge box, right? Our sensor supports 2G, 3G, 4G, right, internet, so it can work even in the remote location. We are working in remote location in UP and north and south, many location, and it's working just fine. So this is how the wireless completely battery operated sensors are installed. And this is the customer list we are working today. I guess Sandeep ji also is an ex-UPL, right? We are scaling today with UPL in the chemical industry, DCM Shriram, IGPL, SRF. These are all our chemical top clients in India as of now. And this is how we are scaling up today. So thanks a lot, panel, for listening through our solution. And yeah, we will be in touch in case there's an interest area for or the priority for your operation optimization. So yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Chetan and Sandeep, for listening through.